I'm Kaylee. In this video, I will give you a quick overview of the Exchange case study. More details and artifacts can be found below. So let's dive in. Just to give you a little bit of background. So after our company was acquired, we had two products, both offering very similar functionality, and we really had no clear direction on what to do with two of them. So it was like, do you consolidate? Do you integrate? Do you start fresh? Ultimately, it was decided that we would build a new platform from the ground up, combining the best features of both. So I was brought on as a co-design lead, helping guide kind of a user-centered design process for the new product. So I'd say this project was broken down into what I would call 5 phases. We had discovery, information architecture, and framework definition, our workflow design, visual treatments, and then the implementation and ongoing support. So for the first phase, you can see here, we conducted a lot of different interviews with our key users. We audited the platforms to really understand the intricacies of both. We performed competitive analysis and market research to just better understand the res tech industry as a whole. And that really helped us define our personas, map our user journeys, and then really identify key areas of focus and recommendations from the design and product perspective. So as you can see here, we've put together a really long presentation kind of highlighting everything that we found and then what we would like to do moving forward. Next step was our information architecture phase. This really felt more like a design sprint. We had 2 weeks where we got in a room and tried to hash it all out. So as you can see here, we're starting out with our pen and paper sketches, leading to a lot of like really messy design iterations and wireframes. We had lots of different collaboration and iterations, and ultimately came up with 2 different concepts. So as you can see here, concept A, the menu and side panel, and then concept B was more of this kind of split screen. And the idea here was that from a framework perspective, our users need to be able to see projects and target groups and quickly move between them, look at high level information about them to understand how they're performing and where they need to take action. So ultimately, we A/B tested these, did some analysis on it, and decided to go with that concept A, which I'll show you here. So then we moved on to our 4 key workflows. And I'll walk through them here. These are our final wireframes that we did. There were lots of iterations done before, but just in the presence of time. So you can see here, we've defined our navigation system, our project list, which is actually an evolution of the concept A I just showed you, our creation flow, how they set up and create projects and target groups, which is a major workflow. And then these ones are how they managed projects and target groups moving forward, understanding how they're performing as well as where to take action. Next was our reporting workflows on how they can run reports to understand the data. And then our reversals or reconciliation process, which is part of our invoicing. Next up was our visual design language. So I worked with our design system designer as well as our branding team through a lot of different steps in order to design our visual language. So as you can see here, these are inspirations that I took, and then we defined our kind of 2 key concepts. One's glass sunset, lots of bold, lots of colors, gradients. The next one is flat European, which is a bit more like geometrical, more beige, definitely more flat. And so here are different iterations I did, taking wireframes that we had and then trying to adapt those different concepts to them. We then had 2 different concepts, this one here, glass sunset, and this one here, flat European, that we then A/B tested. And ultimately, after testing, as well as understanding from our executive team kind of which way we should go, we landed on the flat European. So here we have translated all of our wireframes into the design language, which was a very manual process, but it allowed us to like figure out where we wanted to go in terms of like how we continue to iterate on the design, as well as like helping us find inconsistencies with the wireframes. So a lot of that, like back to the systems thinking. And then next was kind of like the implementation phase. So we had 4 different teams. I supported 2 of those development teams for reporting, reconciliations, and project management. Attended regular agile ceremonies just to make sure we were on the same track and definitely keeping informed with one another. And then during this time, you know, as you can see here, we've done a lot of different projects and things since, just highlighting that we're continuously improving and adding new features to it. And then I also spearheaded and led the research initiative to gather feedback from both our beta testers as well as our live users. Overall, this project has been absolutely incredible. It's been about 2 years in the making, so seeing things come to fruition is incredible. We have We're set to have 100% migration by July of this year, so that's super exciting. The project has definitely had its challenges, especially with so many different stakeholders involved, and we were working under extremely tight timelines with massive impact. But as a result, I mean, looking back, it was absolutely worth it. I've gained such an understanding of systems thinking and resource planning, advocating for the user when it kind of felt like no one else was. And just the details, the granularity, getting that you helped build a product from the ground up at the enterprise level seems like a very rare opportunity, which I'm incredibly grateful for. I think the teams really came together and collaborated, and I think we have created something that's really efficient, it's innovative, it's impactful, and I'm really proud of what we achieved together and how much I grew as a designer during the process. So thanks for listening.